This is Critical Commentary with Maurice Williams. Today we're going to cover Trump possibly giving Americans stimulus checks, Ayesha Curry's backlash for clowning Steph Curry, and Nick Fuentes' take on the Constitution being for white people only. Blacks, Hispanics, and whites can't read. Why you think I started a podcast? It's a fucking racist thing with you niggas, and that's why I'm coming at you niggas next. They love to talk about black violence. Have you heard of white violence? White people commit violent crime at 3 times the rate of Asians. When is Nick Fuentes gonna talk about white violence? Everybody's arguing about their 2 genders. I sat next to her hermaphrodite in math class. Am I allowed to talk about the Jews? If she wanted, we could do it in the morning. Yawning, letting my eyes stretch, baby, I ain't a novice. I've been a dog, she FaceTime, but I never call. Trump is floating the idea of possibly giving Americans $2,000 in rebate checks that he says the government would be able to pay based upon the tariffs that he's put on China. This is something he's trying to do to give Americans who are struggling, who aren't getting feed stamps, and who also are dealing with rising inflation and higher grocery prices a break. I actually am in support of this, but it goes against what most fiscal conservatives and fiscal Republicans will want. They will want less interference from the government in the economy. They like the laissez-faire attitude where the capitalism, where the market just goes based upon supply and demand. So this is something that many Americans do want because, again, of the high prices. But it is something that is, again, signaling how Trump had got in office talking about immigration. He got in office talking about balancing the budget, etc. But since he's been in office, he hasn't been as stern on many of the policies that he has been pushing. So we'll continue following this as new updates come. The last thing that was stated by his administration, not Trump, was his Treasury Secretary, who stated that he's sort of pumping the brakes on the idea because he's not sure if it would help the economy in terms of rising inflation, though it would help in the interim. Long term, he believes that it will cause interest rates to rise and then make it harder for people to buy homes and for people to pay off their cars, etc., because the money would just be a band-aid. And after this influx, after this sugar high, he believes the actual problems of people not working and American economy not producing enough income, revenue, he believes those problems would be exacerbated by Trump giving out the handouts, the rebate checks. Also, those who have been following in other news, Ayesha Curry has had a couple viral moments, actually. So recently, she was on Call Her Daddy, and that is the most recent viral moment she had. So we're going to listen to what Ayesha Curry said on the Call Her Daddy podcast, and then afterwards, we'll check out some other clips that have resurfaced of things she has said in the past about Steph Curry as well.
4 kids. Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So, I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals. And I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life. So it's like, it's one of those things like you don't know what you actually don't know what you want.
It's so hard also to be the woman in a situation where you're like, men just don't get as much scrutiny. Like they can maybe tell him like your fucking shots suck tonight, but like the looks and all of that is just like not a factor of conversation as much.
No.
Did you talk to Steph about it? Like, or did you kind of keep it within yourself so it didn't?
I do not have a bone in my body that can keep anything to myself. So if it comes to mind, it's coming out. And he's so gracious. Like he tries to resonate with me, but he just can't. And he also comes from a place of like, it's effing stupid. Like, it's not true. So why? And I'm like, but wait, like, listen to how it makes me feel. And he's like, but why does it make you feel like that? It's not real. After we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughters so quickly. I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared, and I didn't think twice about it. But after my daughter turned 1, I remember there being a shift and being like, I have goals for myself. Like, this doesn't feel right. I love being a mom, but I love doing other things too. And I need to get my shit together and figure out what that looks like for myself now.
If I have a career and I'm not home, like, did you experience that?
I still experience that. I still experience that. I'm always in therapy talking about this. If you lose all of those things that were interesting about you, even for yourself, like even the things that made me feel confident and cool, then what are you doing?
Okay, guys, there's a few things here. So I actually, based upon how the feminist movement and how women are now, I understand some of the things that Ayesha is saying. Basically, she thought that she was going to be this career woman, and many women now go to school and they have different interests they want to pursue as far as business, etc. Things they want to do for themselves outside of just being wives and mothers. So she's saying that she was focused on that, but then she met Steph Curry. They fell in love, they got married, and she's saying that she has expressed to him that there's things that she wants to do outside of the home, and she's just also in general expressed things to him, and she's saying that he doesn't understand. Well, I kind of understand where Steph is coming from. It's kind of like he's working hard, he's providing all these things for the family. He feels that your life is set, so he doesn't quite understand like what you would be complaining about, or not necessarily complaining, but just why would you have any criticism, or why do you have these problems? He thinks everything should be fine. He thinks your life is set. So again, she did say he's nice about it. She said he tries to understand, but he doesn't. I'm kind of with Steph again on this. Then later she went into how expressing more so why she wants to do these other things. She says outside of just being a mother, those goals that she had when she was younger, she says that now that she's had the kids, I guess they're not going to have more kids, or it doesn't seem like she's trying to have more kids. She's saying, well, I want to settle back into who I thought I was going to be. So my opinion is that like they have money, right? So I mean, if they're able to still raise their family and she can do these things, I mean, I would be okay with it. I don't see anything wrong with like women working, but I do understand Steph's perspective, and I also understand why people are saying she's facing backlash for this. Her being a woman and saying these things, I don't know Steph personally, but let's say he's like sensitive or etc. He may feel a way about her expressing these views. So I don't know if he already knew she felt this way, and I don't know how he feels about her expressing it to the world. But what some people are probably saying is, he's this big celebrity. You're out here saying things about him that could be taken negatively. I've seen some of the comments online. Many people, male and female, are basically telling her, shut the fuck up, enjoy your life, and don't embarrass this man. So we're actually going to check out some more clips, because in this particular clip, I was just kind of like, whatever about what she's saying. I don't agree, but she can have an opinion. So I'll check out some more of these older clips, I believe they are, and let you guys know what I think about those. This one is something looks like with Jada Smith.
That really bothers me and like honestly has given me a sense of a little bit of an insecurity is the fact that, there are all these women like throwing themselves. But me, like the past 10 years, like I don't have any of that. Like I have zero, this sounds weird, but like male attention. And so then I begin to internalize it, and I'm like, is something wrong with me?
You're not looking.
What?
You're not looking.
You're not even.
But I'm gonna tell you something else too. When your radar's turned off, because I dealt with that for years too. Like, and I was young, like you.
Yeah,
like
that's
oh my
not
god.
fair.
I mean,
because I don't want it, but it'd be nice to know that like someone's looking.
But
okay, so my producer wants me to be quick, but it's tough. Okay, so there's a few things going on here. She's saying that Steph is a ball player. He has money. Women are throwing themselves at him. Okay, yes. I mean, she looks nice to me. I believe that she does get attention from men, but for some reason she wants more. Like I see she has social media, so she's definitely getting people commenting on her, but she's saying she wants more attention. So I see how this definitely makes Steph look bad, because it's like, okay, you're with me. Why are you trying to get attention from other men? You should be happy with the attention that Steph is giving you. And I don't see Steph necessarily saying he wants attention from women. Matter of fact, if Steph said it, I feel like her and other women would be getting on Steph for saying something like that. So for me, guys, as I try to be fair, I feel like for her to say this, I see why she's getting the backlash, because if the shoe was on the other foot, Steph would be getting a lot of backlash. Now, also, everybody says I play both sides of the fence. Outside of her being in a relationship, So her being in a relationship is why I'm not okay with her saying this. But in terms of her being a woman, I do understand that women like to be seen. They like to be noticed. They find value in their appearance. They think that that's their worth based upon what they have been taught and what society kind of says. So if she weren't, married, I would say I kind of understand women have insecurities, etc. So what she's saying is not off base. It's just off-putting because she's married. So you could have just kept that thought to yourself, in my opinion. Okay, this is another clip. Ayesha Curry. From what I'm seeing, she's on the podcast, Call Her Daddy. Now she was on another show with Jada Smith. Now she's on another show. I don't know what this is. But to me, she was just talking about she's not able to do what she wants. But I mean, it seems like stuff is not holding her back from doing anything. She's going to talk on these shows. So, I mean, I definitely am not quite following her all the way. Yeah, okay, so I mean the producer says I'm a liberal, but I may be, I'm not sure. But so all I'm seeing is just her kinda, I see why all of this is an issue with her acting like this in public, but I more so just see her acting like a normal girl. I guess this is how they used to act in private, but now we're just more exposed to the conversations women had in private and the way they acted. So she's just kind of like, I guess, I don't know if you want to call it googly eyes or whatever. She's like covering her eyes saying that this man looks nice. And I think, I didn't see this, but I think I saw another clip from this show where she like said something about she was married or whatever. So she's just kind of like playing on the fact that this man looks nice. Again, okay, the producer says she took off her wedding ring, so he wants me to know more about what's going on. My take would be that hold on guys, give me a second. She's doing like these flirty things like with her girlfriends, but she's doing this in front of public. So like again, I see why it's an issue. I see what I was about to say was, I see how looking at a few of these clips is building up to where, okay, one isolated incident, a person might brush over it as like whatever it is, but seeing that she's doing it multiple times is like, first off, you're doing too much each time, but then over the course of, if I keep scrolling through these, because there are a few more, it's like, lady, we get it. You're not dead like men like to say. You're not dead. You see attractive men, etc. That's fine, but you don't need to parade it around for everybody to know. I mean, we're aware that you have eyes. Keep them inside of your head. I'll go to the last. Well, I saw this one. So there's one more clip I'll let you guys know before we go into the Nick Fuentes stuff. Here, I don't know. Oh, this is also from Call Her Daddy, but it's a different clip, I believe, guys.
It was going to be a thing. I thought we would be friends. Yeah.
Did you ever have anything in high school at all, or it was legit just friends?
No, just friends. Just friends. Yeah.
I get what you're saying of like you never saw him as something, but I'm like, when you look back, is there any memory that you're like, maybe there was something or
no? Never. I in the beginning hated it so much. I like did not sign up for that. I also always thought like I didn't know that he was going to end up playing basketball. Like he said he wanted to be a high school basketball coach. Like I thought I was going to be like the girl out there getting it. So I didn't know.
Okay, so there's two things. I'm going to respond to this clip, but then also respond to a clip I saw that we didn't bring up. She's basically saying she didn't know Steph would be like successful. She thought she would be the breadwinner. She thought she would be the bigger brand and personality. So I guess in her mind, I'm not going to say she's jealous of Steph, but the way the marriage ended up playing out, she thought it makes more sense why she's saying some of the things she's saying. She thought that she would be the face of the family, the breadwinner, the person that was in the limelight more, and she expected him to kind of be a basketball coach. She was, I guess, just looking for somebody to be a partner with her, but she wasn't looking to be, I don't want to say the husband to the wife, but she wasn't looking to play back fiddle to someone. I wanted to mention this other clip I saw, and maybe we may play it another time, but I did want to say when they were talking, she knew him from church. So this is all giving off the thing of like kind of she looks at Steph like a simp. She wanted to be the big person. She likes these other men, and she's kind of just potentially using him, and she may go off and they may get divorced. People are talking about women go through a whole stage at 40. So I just wanted to say in her defense that throughout the interview, she did touch on a lot of things. So she said that she met him in church. She said a lot of the girls at church liked him, etc., etc. So she has said positive things about Steph. I don't want it to look like all she does is clown him. But when you're such a public figure, you and your husband, and you've clowned him so often, maybe you should consider not saying everything that pops into your head. Maybe you should try to work on holding water. Now we'll go into some of the Nick Fuentes clips. This first one is from Fuentes Updates. It says, Nick Fuentes explains the natural role of power in a society and how there will always be powerful people. I won't read the quote, guys, because y'all know I like to not give y'all my live reaction.
Corporate horse at $100. I'm too old to be a groyper, but I've been binging your stuff lately after seeing clips on Instagram and think I'm roughly aligned. I'm struggling to reconcile the aversion to entrenched power with the desire for a dictator-like right-wing leader. If the problem with the former is misalignment, wouldn't the latter pose the same risk if they turned out bad?
See, that's a dumb question. You think that the problem is the abstract. The problem is the particular. The problem is not that there is power. There will always be power. There will always be a regime. Someone will always have power. They will always use power. Their identity will always color that regime. So the question is not whether there will be a regime. The question is, what kind of regime will it be? And I want the character of the regime to be generally liberal. I don't want to live in a police state. I don't want to live in a totalitarian society. I think that liberty is a part of the political culture of America, and I want to preserve that. With that being said, our regime is controlled by a money power. It is deeply influenced by foreigners, not just Jews, but many foreign-born people, immigrants, people that came here on visas, but it is also quite a few Jews, atheists, cosmopolitans, homosexuals, many, and they're non-Jewish too, many of them, a lot of women. And so their identity colors the type of regime that we have. We have a feminist, cosmopolitan, pro-diversity, globalist regime. We want a regime that is nationalist, that is Christian, patriarchal. So that may be because you're old. An old person might say, the problem is the man. You're always going to have the man. The question is, who is the man going to be? You have an aversion to entrenched power, but you want a right-wing dictator. My aversion is not that there is power. My aversion is what the power is doing. And it's a tale as old as time. It's like saying, my dad is an alcoholic, so no one should have a dad. It's like, no, you want a good dad. You're always going to have dads. There'll always be dads. We need dads, but we want good dads. We want dads that are strong, good, noble, virtuous. And the same goes for government. The same goes for anything. You're always going to have the rich and the poor. You're always going to have the powerful and the powerless. You're always going to have these asymmetries. We just want to have institutions that mitigate excess and abuse. We want to have power that represents the well-being of all the people and society as a whole, rather than certain parts of it. I think our system is good for that. I think the founders were brilliant, but look, we've changed the system a lot since then. The world has changed a lot since then. It's time for a refresh. That's my opinion. Yeah, that's like a big hurdle for a lot of boomers to overcome. They're like, these libertarians. Well, don't you think we should just shrink government? It's like, no, someone will always be powerful because there's asymmetries in information and IQ, and all the old are more powerful than the young, right? Like all these things contribute to hierarchy. Hierarchy's always going to be there, and can't get away from that.
So I agree with Nick. There's always going to be a regime, a person in power, a group that's in power. Nothing is necessarily wrong with power. It's all about how you use the power. I'm a libertarian. Some of what Nick was saying, kind of, he says he's liberal, and I guess he doesn't mean liberal in the left right. He's more so saying he's a libertarian is how he meant liberal, and he's for like diversity, not diversity of people, but certain aspects of what the founders were setting up. They set up a liberal country. Now, the issue that I took with Nick was when he started to talk about the gays, or he started to talk about women, etc. He was just basically trying to say how it was set up with white men, Christian men, nationalists, like America first. I'm not against America first, but he's basically just trying to set up a specific narrative of what he thinks who should be in power, right? So that's why we go out and vote. We have a diverse group of people. Everybody gets out and votes. So I do think that some of the ideas that he's trying to promote, older prior values from America like family, hard work, patriotism. I think those are not just good, they are great. I think we should have stronger families. I think we should be more patriotic in terms of serving the government with the military, and as far as in terms of voting, in terms of being good citizens, cleaning up, just doing our part to make America run well and be a productive society. So I agree with Nick with all that. I think, again, just always with him, he believes that these things are more so done through the white patriarchal structure. So I'm a man. I even believe in the patriarchal structure, because I was saying, like, Steph and Ayesha, they should figure out their things in private. And that's why I had an issue with, like, the woman going out and talking about the man. So I agree with the things Nick is saying, but I'm open to, like, women having a vote, women having a say, etc., because they are citizens. I'm open to atheists having a say in a vote because they also are citizens. The founders, people talk about how the founders were Christians. They were, but they escaped the monarchy. They could have set up a monarchy here. They could have set up a situation where we didn't have separation of church and state. But the same founders who set up the system that Nick is saying we should follow set up a separation of church and state. So I just think that sometimes when these conservatives, and a lot of times the extreme conservatives or outright conservatives, they say a lot of points that are valid, but then they gloss over some of the points that the founders who they use to back their ideas, some of the founders didn't agree with everything they're saying. So my take is just that we should continue doing things the way the founders set up, where they set it up where it's kind of a struggle between two sides and people have to discuss and work through their problems. I think that was great. I think Nick likes some of that. He just, to me, wants it a little bit too much for one group. I'll go into the next clip, guys, because I know I talk a little bit, so I'm trying to work on not saying so much. This one is, I love black women and black women love me. Maybe so. I gotta see. They're black groypers, and as more people are coming across Nick, so not surprising to me, but maybe surprising to some, there's a diverse group of people who support Nick. There are some blacks, there are some Hispanics, there may be some homosexuals, etc. I think just like I'm able to listen to Nick, and he has a lot of perspectives, I can disagree with some, but I'm definitely open to other things that he says. So I think many people are as well. Let's see what the black women said about him.
Sola Blanc sent $30. As a black woman, I love you. Your appeal is your strength and confidence.
Let's
There's a small army of us, believe it or not.
And I love black women. I've always loved black women love me because I keep it real, because I'm a nice guy, keep it real. I'm with you, dude. Pam Grier, my favorite black woman, after Candace Owens,
Kitty Max sent $21. Can I take a crack at Candace Owens while you two are on a break?
No, absolutely not. She's all mine.
I guess he was just trolling me, guys, but I don't know if he really was trolling, so I won't cuss him out. I'll go to the next clip. This is Nick. I just read I won't read the quote. Well, I gotta read it. Nick, I just read the Constitution and it says citizenship is for white people only. Let's see. I guess this is a Groyper told him that. Let's see what Nick's response was.
Hi, Nick. I am a legal researcher, and I have found that the original citizenship for an American is only for what is called a free white person, and they were citizens of a state. For example, a Californian rather than a U.S. citizen. I give away my research online for free, and I would like to offer my website and research to you and your fans free of charge. My message to you next. My website is www.onestupidfuck.com.
I'm literally about to crash out. You guys have no idea how much of this kind of shit I get in my P.O. box and my DMs. Get this to the president! Dude, no way. Really? This changes everything. Your groundbreaking legal research shows that all non-white people are not really citizens? Get this to the White House immediately. Can someone print this? I'm going to run to Office Depot right now and print out 1 million copies. Get this to Fox News. Fax it to the New York Times. Get this to the president. I'll get in the car now. Drive. I'm going to get in a taxi cab. What'll it be? The Capitol building, and step on it. We need to get there by the morning. I'm going to be climbing the fence. Secret Service is rushing towards me. Guys, it's cool. I got it. You're never going to believe this. Secret Service tackles me to the ground. You have to read this. Get this to the president immediately. Get it to Trump. Someone needs to tell you this. You're a crazy person. Let me tell you this with I appreciate the big super chat, but let me tell you this with some authority. You are crazy, and you need to come back to reality. Come back to us, please. Come back. We care about you. Return to reality at once, please, promptly. I'm a legal researcher, And I took a magnifying glass and I looked at the Constitution, and it turns out that the only citizens are whites, and they're citizens of the states. Oh, man. Holy smokes. Holy fucking smokes, bro. Alert the media. Why are you sending this to me when you should be sending this to the New York Times and NBC? We interrupt this messaging. We interrupt your programming with a breaking news update at 12:48 a.m. Central Time. Groundbreaking legal research shows that citizenship has just been revoked for 150 million Americans. Authorities are figuring out how we're going to physically remove all of them. Why do I always get the nuts?
Yeah, I agree with Nick. This person was nuts. All Nick could do is make fun of him because he didn't really make sense. I will say that Nick was screaming a lot, so I know that people, when Stephen A. Smith screams, they say he can't control himself, lack of impulse. I've noticed that when I scream, people say lack of impulse. I just wonder why it's not the same energy for Nick. They say he's colorful, I suppose. But yeah, I was in agreement with Nick. Just thought he was a little funny and colorful in this interview, which is not a problem to me, but it just seems to be a problem when I do it for other people sometimes. This is the last Nick clip today. It's Nick reminisces about doing his show while at Boston University 9 years ago. I think that's where Nick went to school. He didn't finish. I think he got into the political realm. So let's check this one out.
Hi, Nick. It's Alec. You might remember me from Boston University. I was the one from you all who set up and moderated the debate. Great to see your success since then, and I'm glad I was there from the very beginning. Fun times. I'm sure you'll always be Cassie's biggest regret, haha.
That's crazy. I remember. I don't want to dox you, but I remember your name, Alec D. That's how I know, because I know ball like that. No, that's crazy, man. You literally set this whole thing. Isn't that insane? You go in a time machine 10 years ago, and this other college kid who's at Yale is like, I think I'm going to set up a debate. And like, if this debate didn't happen, none of this would have occurred. So that was kind of like one of the starting actions. Before that even, though, it was that I wore the hat, and then I was asked to be on the BU Today video. The Boston University Student Daily interviewed me. That's the part I never talk about because I always forget about it. I was wearing my MAGA hat, and somebody from like the BU TV station said, hey, we're doing a video where we're asking students who they're going to vote for and why, and you're the only Trump supporter that we know of. Would you do it? And I said, sure. And so I was in a video or some kind of article. I forget what it was. But I was in the BU Daily paper with my MAGA hat on with like 5 liberals. And I'm saying why I'm going to vote for Trump. And that's really what sparked the whole thing. And everyone was attacking me. And I was kind of like a little famous on campus. And then the debate happened. I'm sure you remember this. Ancient history is like 8 years ago, man. 9 years ago. 9 years. 9 years gone. Isn't that nuts? I was an 18-year-old whippersnapper, freshly 18, freshman, high school graduate, looking to make a name for myself. Here I am, world. Here I am in Boston. I hope I can make a name for myself. I think I'll wear this MAGA hat. And I'm fucking broke. I had no money. I had like no dining hall points. So I was just like, literally hungry and poor and like not going to classes. I was getting the night sweats because it was too hot in my dorm. And I was really struggling. I didn't like college at all because I struggle with basic things because I'm an eccentric genius. Yeah, but I was on Twitter and I was writing my blog. I had a blog at the time and I was writing for Regated and doing these debates. And I was on Cassie Dillon's stupid show. And I was just some punk kid walking around at night. Not to get too wistful here, not to get too nostalgic, but it's just funny how that goes, And it's funny. The reason it's funny is because now that I've sort of arrived, everybody says, where did this guy come from? Where did he come from all of a sudden? It's like, I've been doing this for 9 years. And for those that have been around from the beginning, I mean, I was in my friend's dorm room because I had a double, he had a single. And he was like a fellow traveler. And so I would literally at Warren Towers take the elevator up to his floor with all my gear every night. My laptop, my green screen, all my shit. I would carry it in the elevator up to his floor, set it all up, open up my laptop, set up the green screen. And I would do this show making no money, getting no viewers at all. All the boomers were shitting on me in the comments saying, you smack your lips too much. They would get mad at me if I didn't say President Trump. If I ever said Trump, they would say, that's President Trump to you. This is the RSBN audience. They grew to like me, but they were always on my ass about stuff like that. I did this for months, every day for months, getting attacked, getting called a racist, all of it. People, threatening to beat me up in the dining hall. Like, I did that for 9 years. And not that in particular, but stuff like that for 9 years. And then you get your big break and everybody says, where did this guy come from? I think this guy's a Fed. It's like, you haven't been paying. I've been here for 9 years, bro. I've been doing this uninterrupted since I was a senior in high school. It's just a little blast from the past. Pardon me. But no, it's good to hear from you, buddy. I appreciate you. The old Alec. I thought your name was spelled with a K, though. Maybe it's not the real one, but maybe I'm misremembering that. Anyway.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm happy for Nick. He's been working for a long time. This is like a full circle moment for him. This is the person who actually set up the debate that sparked his career. This is back, like he said, when he was in college. He was broke. He was finding his way. He's clearly found his way. As he said, he's arrived. You can hear the jubilation in him. A lot of people can relate to this. When you're young, you don't know what you're going to do with your career, with your personal life, etc. You get older, you become more seasoned, and you find your way. So I think regardless of if people like Nick are on his side, we can all just agree that that's a fun story. And also, I was listening, particularly me being someone who's talking about politics now, I was catching that Nick talked about like how his start was, not just the fact that he didn't have money, but also like the way people comment. They criticize this, they criticize that, etc., etc. I experienced that, but I think all people who talk in front of cameras, etc., put themselves out there to experience that. All I could tell people is that in life, regardless of if you're talking in front of camera or not, all you can ever do is be you like to the best of your ability. Be respectful to others. As you guys know, sometimes when I'm talking, it's like a therapy session. You guys hear me thinking aloud, like, when I get criticism, sometimes I should listen. Sometimes I should tell them fuck off because it just depends on where they're coming from. I need to be open to hearing the criticism, maybe seeing someone else's viewpoint, but also having the discernment to understand when it's just somebody like Nick says who is just saying such and such just because of your race or such and such just because they don't like your standpoint, etc. And we all can work on that. But yeah, the few clips we saw today from Nick, I liked them. He's very funny. The other clip was all about his jokes. I think he's very charismatic, etc. So on this show, I'll just continue giving you guys my authentic viewpoints. And I look forward to growing with you guys. So I'm about to go into comments. But again, if you like this show, please subscribe and please smash the like button. And we're about to check out the comments. Also, guys, in terms of comments, I'm not able to read every comment on the show because we have time restraints, but I do read all of the comments and I've been taking time to respond to the comments because as I told you guys a few episodes back, I really enjoy you guys' feedback. I want to cover more topics. I want to learn more myself so I can be more informed about the world and the world around me. So please continue sending us information, leaving comments, letting us know what you want to cover, and also telling us your perspective because it helps me grow as a person and it helps me grow into this show to get my views out to you guys more. So I'm about to read a few. Like I said, I can't read many. I'll probably read 3 or 4. This is to Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes to MAGA. We tried it your way. It didn't work. Now it's our turn. This is from Gideon. GIDEONDEJONGH838. Don't know what that says, guys. Dude. Okay, I don't have to open it. Dude, you get mad at Nick when your taxes get sent to another country, and let me remind you that since 1973, $3 trillion have been sent to your little friend in the Middle East. And you get mad at an edgelord who speaks openly the words that most Americans are thinking quietly. If he's talking about Netanyahu, I think he's a war criminal. I don't want Israel to be influencing the American government, and I don't want our tax dollars sent to Netanyahu, who's in trouble for fraud. So not only is the money going to Israel, it may be going just to him and not even helping Israelis, and that may be why Israelis are protesting him, trying to get him out of office, which is why he's trying to start war with everybody because he's trying to stay in office. So he's coming up with all these different enemies to fight because the more he fights, you can't really have an election when your government is constantly at war. I'll read a couple more. This is again to Nick Fuentes to MAGA. We tried it your way, it didn't work. Now it's our turn. This is from Jeanette Bragg 5287. Nice. She has an American flag. She may be America first, and that's what I'm saying. I want America to be for Americans, and I want America to put their interests above any foreign nation. Got two more for you guys. This is from Lily Gaddis. She was in blackface, so I called her a blackface bimbo. Somebody said she's spot on. Black fatigue is real. I don't think she was spot on. Most of the comments have said the opposite, but you're welcome to have your opinion, Mr. Skipped Bayless. Not Skip Bayless, but Skipped Bayless. I won't read your other comment, sir. I'll close it with this one. This is also from Lily Gaddis, the blackface bimbo. Juno Terry. They said, tell me there is not a white person that didn't put extensions in their hair or wear fake nails and eyelashes. I guess they're just trying to say that she dressed up as a black person who was doing a bunch of things to look different how blacks naturally act. And I guess their point is that white people also use Botox, makeup, etc. Yes, so I feel in terms of women, this happens with both sides. You'll have black people who do things to straighten their hair. You'll have white people do things to make their lips bigger or their behinds bigger or the Botox to straighten out their face. Like I said, black women not only straighten their hair, but they get the weaves, extensions, etc. So I would just say that all the women have different beauty characteristics. And as we kind of saw with Ayesha Curry, women just want to look as beautiful as they can. So all the different characteristics that have naturally come from the wide range of women, not just whites and blacks, but also Hispanics, also Indians, also Middle Easterners, etc. All the women just try to take these characteristics that are seen as positives in their group and add the positives that are amplified in other groups. So yeah, if you guys like the show, please hit the like button. If you enjoyed the content, please subscribe, share with your friends. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you like this video, please smash the like button, comment, and subscribe. New shows airing Monday through Thursday.